Come here, buddy. Hey, buddy. Go to your pillow. You're not gonna see my face for the rest of this video. And it's kind of hard for you to perceive a lot of my YouTube videos is that just listen to what I'm saying, not what I'm doing, in a sense of not my practicality, but more of, how do I say this, the things that I'm saying, not my hand movements, my eyes, because my eyes tend to move a lot, but my brain's always on the same train, right? Because I really want you to listen to what I'm about to say, not what I'm about to do, not how my body moves, not how my body functions, not how it reacts to certain things or smells or sights. More like just listen, comprehend, analyze, okay? Use it as analogies in your further arguments, right? Think about different situations. Just listen. Our generation and our society as a whole has gotten to a point where we don't really hear both sides. We hear one side, and if that side agrees or aligns with our values or morals, then we stick to that side. But then it's getting to the point where we absolutely hate the other side, right? I'm going to bring up a popular example among the black community. It's black women and snow bunnies, right? Or for those of you that are not as informed as that, a snow bunny is a woman, specifically of the Caucasian race, who fetishizes black men, right? It was a big thing during the 60s and 70s and during a lot of slave times, you know. The master's daughter would, or the master's wife would love the slaves. And that's a whole other story for a whole other time. But it's getting to the point where people are forcing you to choose between one or the other, right? You either love black men and black women and hate white women, or you love white women and hate black women, which I can understand, right? But in that situation, there's always a median, right? You can dabble in both and it not be an issue, but as long as you're not dragging down the other, then you should be fine. Another thing is with politics, right? I personally hate politics, and I'm not going to speak about it after this anymore. But this is a little snippet, right? The Republicans and the Democrats. Republicans hate Democrats, and Democrats hate Republicans. Now there are very few that don't hate don't hate each other. They just have obviously prejudice due to the way they were raised. But in the 70s, although there was a lot of hate between people, it was mainly because those were bad people, or maybe it was just racism. But when it came to politics, people were pretty peaceful because they understood both sides, right? If you're someone that grew up watching Fox News and your values align with that of the Republican Party and you only watch Fox News, well, Fox News pretty much hates the Democratic Party, so you're going to naturally dislike Republicans, right? I mean, dislike Democrats, right? And the same thing goes for Democrats. And also this happens in arguments. This happens with husband and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends. This is why a lot of divorce rates are so high. People don't understand each other fully. They just know, I believe in this, you believe in that, and we're not going to be able to compromise because our ideals are going so far separate. Now, if it's a divorce due to infidelity or a breakup due to infidelity or cheating or something along those lines, that's a different story. Actually, it's the same story because you didn't understand that person might not be loyal to you. You went all in, and now look at you, you're single, right? But you have to understand, life isn't black and white. It's gray because you mix the black and the white, right? If you look at yin and yang, there's a bit of the opposite inside of the other one, right? There's a white dot in the black, the black area and there's a black dot in the white area, because you need a little bit of the other side to fully understand the spectrum, to fully understand what's going on in the situation, right? Another thing is that we need to start asking why instead of what or what's going to happen, right? Look at the case of Luigi Mangione, right? What he did was murder and it was wrong, right? And some people view it as, oh, he killed this person, he's going to get life. But why, right? Why did he do that, right? You look at someone, oh, he robbed a bank, he's going to be in jail for a long time. Why did he rob the bank? Was he doing it for the love of the game? No. More than likely, he has to provide for someone. Nobody robs a bank for themselves. Yes, they like the money, but that's high risk, low reward, right? So it's high risk, low reward in the sense of you have money, but that money's stolen now, and it's just you're always looking over your shoulder now. It's a low reward. It's not really worth it, right? This isn't a movie. You don't move illegally and just like enjoy life. That's not how that works. Okay, karma is very much real, and it will bite you in the butt, right? Oh, he beat up a kid. He should be suspended for a week. Why though? What did the other kid do to incite this? Sometimes it's just out of pure malice and hatred, but what did the other kid do to incite a physical beating from another person? And that's something I learned from a young age, but it didn't really start taking effect until I was much older in life, right? Because I would get in trouble a lot for doing stupid things. Like this one time, there was this girl, and she said that she was strong or whatever, so I gave her an Indian burn, right? Would I ever do it again? Absolutely not. And she was like, oh my God, that hurts so much or whatever. I was just proving her wrong. I wasn't even trying to hurt her. I was just proving her wrong, right? Or the time where people might look at me differently now, but me and my friends, we jumped a kid in the back of the bus, right, when I was younger, and I'm admitting this wholeheartedly. I'm trying to be transparent, right? As a growing content creator, I want to start honest and end honest. I don't want to start off with a lie and then have the honest truth come out and make me look a bad person, right? But I beat up a kid when I was younger, right? Me and my friends, we jumped this kid in the back of the bus, purely off the fact that he was annoying, right? He was weird. We didn't really like him. He was an outsider. He was a bit quirky. Come to find out, he had autism. I didn't know, okay? I wouldn't have even bothered if I did know, because it's justified. That makes sense. But I didn't know. And still to this day, I don't know if that's true for sure. That's what my dad told me. My dad was like, yeah, he had autism. And I was like, no, he didn't. He was just weird. He was like, no, he had autism. And I was like, damn, right? And honestly, that just brings me to my main point, right? That was a nice little build-up of understanding situations, which is what brings me to making this video. Enjoy being alone. I know it's a switch, but let me explain. I have no siblings, but I tell people that I have 2 sisters. Now, when I say that, it's because they didn't grow up with me, and I didn't grow up with them. They grew up with each other, and then I came along when they were about 13 or 14, right? And you're probably wondering, Mo, what are you talking about? You always tell people you have 2 sisters. Yeah. They were just people that lived at the same house as me, and we both called the same 2 adults mom. They read me books when I was younger, and they hung out with me, but that was it, really. I never really got to know them, right? And they didn't turn out the best of people. They were really smart, but they made controversial life choices, if I do say so myself. But I've always wondered why, because I hear both sides of the story, but they don't mesh, right? And so I basically grew up an only child. I was raised by my parents, obviously. My parents, they're in their mid-50s, almost 60s now, so they were older parents, right? In a generation of young parents in their 20s and 30s. My parents were in their 40s, in their early 40s, and then when I started becoming, sentient or more aware of my surroundings, they were in their mid to late 40s, now early 50s, right? So they didn't really have time to deal with my antics, right? I'm not saying they were negligent. I'm just saying they didn't really. They was just like, oh, we're gonna help you do this, this, and this. This is how you do it, and then they kind of left me to my own devices, right? And so, as a kid, that's basically all I knew. I spent a lot of time in my room by myself. It got to the point where I was talking to myself in the mirror, thinking it was a different person, right? And before you say, "Oh, Makisa, that's so sad, it's terrible," it's like, no, it's not terrible. Now, I enjoy, the solitude. I enjoy being by myself, and I've made a lot of great friends, especially at this new school that I've transferred to. Right, I've made so many great friends, and I'm so thankful for the people that I've met along the way, male, female, old, young. Every friend that I've made, I'm thankful for. Right, all of my friends that I've seen is, I'm thankful for y'all. I love y'all. Right, and so, you know, if you look at it from the outside, right, if you don't understand both sides, you're like, oh, he's alone. Maybe he needs a friend. No, right? I feel like at times, I do feel sad, but it's more like I'm not sad because I don't have friends to hang out with. I'm sad because, I'm just like, it's just me. And like, sometimes at night, after I'm done hanging out with my friends, or after like basketball games, when I get food with my friends and they go home, I drive around. I just, one night I just ended up in the middle of Albuquerque, and I was just driving around, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. How do I want to live my life? And it's just I just want to be me, be myself. I want to explore the creativities of life, the philosophical ideals. I want to study like Socrates, and have the fire to learn more like Da Vinci did. And so as this video ends, I just want to. This is also a thank you to all of my friends, but also an understanding of, I'm alone a lot because I like it, right? So, if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. Don't feel free to comment. Ask me any questions about life that you guys have, because I do for sure have a lot of advice in a lot of different areas. Academically, not really. I can tell you things you should do academically, but I'm not the brightest of kids. I'm pretty smart. I just have a bad work ethic. But yeah. Let me know if you guys want more content, and yeah, for sure. Have a great day.